Hi, my name is John Lindsay. I'm a patent attorney with a focus in software and electronics matters. So, one of the points that I wanted to make as you evaluate moving forward with a possible patent application is that innovation is almost always in the details in a patent application. So, part of the impetus for this post is based on the frequent call at the office that starts out, hey, can I get a patent application on a dating app? Can I get a patent application on a social media app? Can I get a patent on a cybersecurity app? And so at that point, the answer is practically speaking, usually no. And so the reason why is that innovation is in the detail. So for a little bit of background, a patent application is only granted if the inventor is bringing something that's new and non-obvious to the technical public domain. And so normally an inventor does not create something that is new and broad, a building block type technology. Now, a recent example of that might be something like the CRISPR technologies, or going back in time, perhaps the transistor, the fundamental building block of contemporary electronics, or maybe going further back in time, perhaps something like technologies that exploit the E equals mc squared, maybe atomic energy or atomic bomb, something like that, going further back in time. But approximately 90% of patent applications are considered what's called improvement patent applications. And again, because a patent application focuses on what is innovative, then that, though the innovation is the improvement, and therefore it needs to be included. So a dating app, those have been out there for decades. A cybersecurity app, those have been out there for a while. Social media, that's been out there for a while. So the question is, what is the detail? So let's talk about some of the contentious points in a patent application and how the detail comes into play. So part of what you're looking at here on the screen as well too is an aptly named post that highlights the first issue, which is called subject matter eligibility. And this professor has the post aptly named eligibility, get technical or get denied, and it brings home the point of including the technical details increases your ability to overcome this subject matter rejection. And subject matter rejections are focused on, is this technology permissible to even be patented in the first place? And so you'll hear questions from the examiner or the courts, or you may see other sort of questions such as, does this idea, is it just an abstract idea? Is it a broad idea? Does it subsume a whole category or attempt to subsume a whole category? And so you'll see what you see here highlighted is an example of the case that the professor discussed that says, hey, had the algorithmic details been included, this patent might have been in better shape. And so to go back to the dating app scenario, instead of seeking a patent application for just a naked dating app, it's those innovative details that should come into play. So perhaps the dating app is security focused. So perhaps it might monitor the GPS for location. It might also geolocate via the IP address for location as well too. And it might receive those readings at certain time and compare those. And then, if there's some sort of if they don't match, for example, that might increase the security risk rating for that online data potentially needing someone else. And so we've gone from the broad abstract concept of a dating app to something that has at least some technical meat to it. So that's just an example. Now on to point two, novelty. So I'm an engineer as well as a patent attorney, and I have a granted patent and some patent applications in the vehicle-to-vehicle communication space. But we know that some of the earlier versions of vehicle-to-vehicle communications included a radio mounted to a vehicle effectively as a beacon, so it would transmit effectively a pulse or a beacon message, and other vehicles in the vicinity would receive that and know that the vehicle is in a space. And so more contemporarily, there are what's called DSRC, Dedicated Short Range Communication, is a vehicle-to-vehicle communication protocol, and it uses omnidirectional radio frequency and some communication protocols. But again, these are things that I want to be able to distinguish away from to say, yes, mine is novel in light of what's in the public domain. So relevant details in the patent application, and you see it in the drawing, but it's in the text as well, is using directional communication, also using peer-to-peer style communication with an intermediary vehicle relaying the message. So those are details that say, no, this isn't just the original beacon technology, or no, this is not just the dedicated short-range communication technology. Now on to point 3, and that is the non-obviousness. So, okay, great, my technology is not literally the same as what's out there, but it's also meaningfully different. And so, again, it's additional details that can help establish that. So we're looking at a diagram that highlights some of the other points as well, too. So the signal is activated when a brake light is activated. There's data that's encoded into the signal that's transmitted as well, too. And those, again, those additional details help further establish non-obviousness. So with that being said, to wrap up, the innovation is normally in the details, and these details lay the foundation for you to determine, one, whether you may proceed with a patent application in the first place, and then also they establish what can happen down the road in your patent application. So these additional details can decrease the cost and time frame and risk of you ultimately being granted a patent, or they may just aid you in making the decision as to whether to proceed in the first place. So again, innovation is in the details, and that should help you with your decision as to whether you proceed. Thank you.